This is Emmett Delaney, and today we're going to take a look at how to read a business plan. You have to understand that resources are limited. If I'm an investor, I've only got so much capital to invest, and so I'm looking for the best opportunity to invest that. Now, usually I've got a lot of people who are trying to sell me on ideas, but I only have so much time to invest. There's only so many things that I can read, so many things that I consider, and I'm always trying to find the best opportunity of matching the money with the idea, so I'm constantly scouring through different pitches trying to find what's there. Now, most business plans appear in a sequential order, and there are 8 sections that are almost always there. Those being the executive summary, the company overview, industry analysis, market analysis, which leads to the marketing plan, operations plan, management team, and financial projections. Almost always there's some appendices that are tossed in there as well. There can be other sections that are here, but these will almost always be the core that are there. So I will expect that any plan that I pick up will follow this sort of order and format. Just because it does so, however, doesn't mean that that's the way that I'm actually going to read the plan. When I read the plan, the first thing I'm going to look for is the executive summary. And the purpose of the executive summary is to pull me in. It's to tell me that this is a compelling case and this is something outside of what I normally am looking at day after day. This is the opportunity that I've been waiting for. After I've got my interest peaked, what I'm going to do is I'm going to then turn to the management team, because I want to know one thing, and that one thing is this idea credible? Are the people who are pitching this plan ones who understand this business and understand this opportunity? It may be a really great summary and it may pull me in, and then I turn to the management team and I see that the people who are writing it know absolutely nothing about what they're writing about. At that point in time, you've lost me and I'm picking up the next plan and moving on. Or I can look at that management team, and that management team can be founders of other companies who have been successful, people who have done this time and time again, and now they're inviting me to be a part of that. That's a compelling thing. So the next thing I want to turn to then is the financials, because the financials are going to tell me what's the opportunity that's here. It can be a great idea and it can have great people on board, and it can, after 5 years, make me $5, and I couldn't care less now. You've lost me once more. Or it could be a great idea with great people, and I look at the numbers and it turns out that I'm going to triple my money in a year, little risk involved as well. Suddenly you've pulled me in here. After I've read these 3 sections and after they've done their job, and you haven't lost me, you're still keeping me there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to skim through the market analysis and the marketing plan. Tell me more about this idea. Now, it's a heartbreaking thing to say, but usually at this point I'm going to stop reading, because I'm going to want to have a meeting, and at that meeting I want you to tell me a little more about the company overview, about the industry that you're talking about, and about the operations of how you would do things on a day-to-day basis. The appendices, of course, are back there, but let's be honest, most people read those appendices about as often as they read the appendices in a textbook or any other thing. Often things are tossed back there that shouldn't be. It's just because someone feels bad about printing out all that paper and not attaching it somewhere. If we were going to map out a business plan with a mind map, it would look something like this. We're only going to look at the executive summary, the management, and the market a little bit as we're discussing this. The financials we'll touch on for a moment. The executive summary, keep in mind, as we said, the goal is to make it interesting, to pull me in, to tell me that this is something different than everything else. Tell me what it is that's going to be offered. Tell me what it is that you're going to do, and tell me what's unique about this. What's going to make it stand out in the market that's full? Where is the real opportunity? The management section, I want to know about those people, their track record, their experience, their skills. Who are these people? I want to know about others that are going to be working with me. I want to know others that are going to be working for me. I want to know that risk has been reduced because these are the individuals that are there. You've given me credibility and you've given me risk mitigation. That's the purpose of this particular section. The financials, what I've got is I've got an income statement, balance sheets, and statement of cash flows. But what I really want to know is, where do we break even? Now, in all honesty, a break-even analysis is one of the weakest forms of financials that exist, but it's what everyone wants to know. And there are two ways to look at break even. How much money do I need to take in, or how many units do I need to sell? Both of those should be given. Make it easy for me. Tell me how many units I have to sell and tell me how much money I have to bring in before I break even. So give it to me simply. How much money is needed up front, and what's it going to go for? That's what my opening balance sheet and other forms are for there. And I also want to know how much money can be made from this, and how long exactly is it going to take for me to make it. That's the purpose of the financials. The marketing section needs to tell me about my customers. Who are they? Are these people who are of a certain age, a certain gender, a certain income? What is it about them? What are their demographics, psychographics, anything like that? Tell me about my customer, and tell me about the size of that base, and tell me exactly who the competitors are, because those customers are getting their needs met somewhere right now. So what is it that they're turning to? Why is it that what's available right now from my competitors is different from what I'm going to offer, and isn't meeting the needs of those customers? Tell me what the unique selling proposition is, and convince me that that unique selling proposition is sustainable. This is not going to be a short-term thing. I'm going to be in this for a while, and or I'm going to have a better way of getting out. If I'm going to make triple my money in a year, I might not mind that I won't be in it for the long term. But tell me that. Put that information right out there and be honest about it. The goal of this plan is twofold. Number one, to serve as a mental exercise, helping walk through all the different components and show that you've thought about the plan, you've thought about the market, you've thought about the financials, you've thought about all those different elements. The second thing is to provide enough information to another party to start a dialogue, to say, let's have a meeting, I'm interested in this, I want to know more. And if that can be done with those three sections, the executive summary, management, and financials, then those are the three sections to pay the most time and attention to. Don't overlook the others, because those are what you're going to talk about in the meeting, but make sure that on paper these three do their job. And while on the topic, let's take a look at what the purpose is for each section of the plan. The purpose of the executive summary, as mentioned, is to capture interest, to get someone to want to know more about the idea. If not everything fits there, then you use the company overview. It's what didn't fit in the summary. So all the other information about the company that you still wanted to talk about, but it didn't fit in those 2 pages, that's where the company overview fits in. The industry analysis is used to demonstrate knowledge, show that you have some working knowledge of the industry, that you understand the environment as it currently is, you understand the changes that are occurring there and what could conceivably change. The market analysis talks about the competition, what's being used to meet the need right now. How you're going to reach the consumer is detailed in the marketing plan. The operations plan is how you're going to come up with the product that you're then going to deliver to the consumer. The management team, as mentioned, is to lend credibility, and the financial projections detail the size of the opportunity that exists. The appendices are intended to support the plan. There should be nothing in the appendices that are not addressed in the plan. In the plan, you can say, see Appendix B, Appendix C, and you can put additional information back there as needed. There should be nothing in those appendices that do not appear or are called out somewhere inside the rest of the plan. And each of those sections have that specific purpose. As long as they're doing that, then they're meeting that need. If they fail to do so, then they are not fulfilling the need for which they're established.